And that's where my happiness answer rings true.
Putting life in your days. Am I gonna butcher this? Is tequila gonna ruin this? Putting life in your days is more important than days in your life, and that's where motorcycles come in.
Well, first, cheers.
Oh yeah. Cheers. And refill that one.
Welcome back to another episode of All Over the Place with Quinn Fable. I'm your host, Layne Fable, and today's guest is a motorcycle riding. Wait, that's not how I was going to start it. Tequila.
You're not wrong there.
Today's guest is very special. He rides motorcycles. He jumps out of planes. He's got the Margarita hookup. And he's also my older brother. Pretty sure he's like in the CIA or some secret operative. Well, we don't know that.
We don't talk about that.
So, as hard as it was to get you on the podcast, meanwhile, we live in the same house right now.
It's just economics 101. I make myself more scarce, therefore more valuable.
Also, I think people that watch the vlogs, if you watch the vlogs and not only listen to the podcast, you know little about Quinn.
Sure.
So I'm excited to kind of delve into his life more so you guys get a little bit more details, and it's going to be a good podcast episode.
I hope to not bore you too much with my CIA cover.
I have a bunch of questions that listeners wanted to ask you, but first I kind of wanted to start off. I know this is a lot to ask too, but how would you, if you want to introduce yourself, like give a little elevator pitch?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to top that introduction. I'm going to kind of just roll with that. Obviously, you know I'm Layne's older brother, and all those bullet points are pretty accurate.
I do my research.
Yeah, we'll go from there. I'm actually interested to see what your readers, watchers, viewers,
everyone
whatever you want to call them, subscribers want to ask. Yeah, because some of the comments have been pretty interesting.
You get some messages, I'm like, and then I have someone that messages me being like, is Quinn single? Your brother's hot. And I'm like, what do you want me to say to that? That is weird. Just message him. I'm like,
more will be revealed tonight.
Yeah, well, I think one of the most interesting things that I know that we don't have in common is you riding motorcycles. Sure. And what kind of was your first introduction to that? Because as far as I can remember, when we were younger, we never like rode dirt bikes and things.
Well, I rode dirt bikes with a friend of mine. Yeah. God, what was his last name? Kenny Loggins. No. I don't remember what his name was. But he had some dirt bikes and some go-karts, and so I had ridden dirt bikes before, and they were a ton of fun. But obviously, dirt biking, and any of you guys who ride out there know that dirt bikes and street riding completely different, just all over the place, totally different.
All over the place.
Yeah. But what really got me into motorcycles at a very young age was, this is a roundabout answer, just bear with me here. I was super into aviation. I used to have books of all different kinds of planes dating back to biplanes in World War I, to obviously the Wright brothers, all the way through to the modern day. This stopped probably when I was in the early 2000s. But my love of aviation obviously brought me to Top Gun. If anybody's seen that, Tom Cruise, the motorcycle, the whole movie is just, it's like military propaganda, but it's still a fantastic movie. Top Gun, Tom Cruise might be a typecast actor. He does what he does, but he does it really well. And so ever since then, I was intrigued by motorcycles. I wasn't in a position financially or personally to get one and be on my own because I get zero support from the parentals. And I understand that.
Yeah, they were still not into the motorcycle riding for sure.
But they've lightened up and they kind of realize it's a hobby of mine, it's a passion, it's not just some
The photos
fad.
are amazing.
Photos are very cool. So yeah, it all started with Top Gun, and then I was in a place where a couple of my friends wanted to take one summer as like a fun thing to do on the weekend. Get our license, so we took the MSF course, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. If anybody out there is even remotely curious or interested in getting their license, I highly, highly recommend, if you value my opinion at all, taking the MSF course. It'll teach you some really good habits. You'll be a way better rider off the gate, and a big benefit depending on the law in your state. Obviously, I can only talk to New Jersey and New York and the United States, is that if you take the MSF course, you'll have zero restrictions on the size of the motorcycle and the engine you can buy. Whereas if you were to just roll up and, take the driver course at your local DMV on a scooter or something, they, in a lot of cases, will restrict the motorcycle you can buy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, whether that's right or wrong, hard to say. But just from a safety perspective, it's not an awful idea. I, as you will probably hear at some point on this podcast, err on the side of personal freedoms, and I don't like restrictions on behavior, vis-a-vis the government. But I have seen a lot of guys, some people I know who were, competent riders, smart guys, coordinated, but they got big bikes, powerful bikes to start and made some bad mistakes. And some, were embarrassed. Others got seriously hurt. And some are no longer with us. It happens.
I'm not gonna lie. Motorcycles make me nervous, but I think they're beautiful, and I think it's so cool seeing your racetrack, and I have to come to one to shoot. But the other day, I was moving your bike, and didn't tell him this yet, so watch his reaction.
You didn't drop it.
No, I didn't drop. Well, let's get into details.
Oh,
so I'm moving your bike, and I'm just moving it like past the roadster, and it kind of like fell. I was in between the bike and the car, and I was just like, this bike is so effing heavy.
Well, as long as you got hurt and not my bike.
Well, yeah, no,
totally
your bike's
cool.
But just listen to this. So I finally like breathe. I'm like, I remember screaming for Shane because the garage door was open and the windows upstairs were open. I was like, maybe he'll hear me. Yeah. Didn't hear me. So I'm like, was it 400-pound bike?
Yeah, it's right around 400 pounds.
What bike do you have right now?
It's a 2018 Yamaha R6. I've done a whole bunch of work to it. Maybe I'll get into it. Maybe
beautiful.
I won't. It's a nice bike.
But it's heavy as hell. And it fell on me. I was like, okay, you need to get out of this yourself because you're not calling Quinn and telling him. My phone was also already in the roadster, like wasn't near me.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, okay. Also, you can't hurt this car. This car's amazing. So I go and I move it and I pick it up. I'm like, okay, you just have to move it a little bit farther just so you don't happen to nick it.
Right.
So I go to move it farther and it falls on Dad's hockey pads.
Oh, man.
Don't worry. There's no damage to it.
Yeah.
But there was no damage to it. But then I was like, it was on the pads and all. You know how we have that pile of crap there?
Yeah.
Never been so happy for a pile of stuff in a garage in my life. So I come inside. I'm like, Mom, I knocked Quinn's bike over. Can you come help me pick it up? And she's like, he'll kill you. I was like, please come help me. So she helped me pick it up.
I like how you tell me this when we're on camera, so I can't
beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
This was planned.
Well thought out.
He's getting a little red.
Done.
He's getting
That's the tequila, guys, not the burning rage.
No. No, but like you've been on the bike since you took it to a track day. You're good.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Mechanically,
also,
it's totally fine.
I
didn't notice anything. So.
Yeah, and you already had a ding on, I don't know, from that lady, I think.
I had, yeah. We'll get to that.
Anyways, but I just had to get that off my chest.
Hey, well, listen, like I said, I didn't notice anything. I take meticulous care of that bike. I mean, like, it's a little ridiculous. It's also, like I said, it's a hobby and a passion.
It's his girlfriend.
Totally.
He puts it on his Instagram story.
I joke. I make Valentine's Day jokes. I'm not going to repeat here. You can go look that up. They're funny. But, yeah, no, it's very much, if you think about it this way, the mechanical safety, my safety, is completely reliant on that bike operating at 100% at all times. Because if I'm going
racing or riding,
however fast I'm going around a corner, which I won't say for liability reasons, and something goes wrong, it could be big trouble. So I like to make sure that everything is meticulously maintained on that bike. So
yeah.
But there are some dings on it. The most recent one, it hit my bike. Luckily, the bike didn't fall. It was super minimal.
When that bike falls, though... Sorry, wait, keep going. Tell a story, and then I'll tell you. Yeah,
the most recent one, my helmet was on the bike. I was at a local meetup, a very popular rest spot, which is popular for bicyclists, like, unitard guys. Not nearly as cool of a hobby. And a lot of motorcyclists. So I was out there. I was parked, and it's a very tight parking lot, filling station.
I was going to say.
You're familiar, yeah.
Really good.
I was parked in a spot where the motorcyclists kind of line up along the shrubbery that divides the road from, like, the parking lot and then the property. And there was a lady, an Asian woman in a minivan, like, check, stereotypes for bad driving, call it what it is. Forget it. All the isms and the ists, lay it on me.
No, it's just like,
shit.
But comedians pointed out.
Stereotypes exist for a reason, long story short. And so, fact of the matter is, in this particular situation, anecdotal as it might be, Asian lady in a minivan backs up, broad daylight, perfectly sunny, there are no excuses for hitting my bike, and motorcycles stand pretty tall. Like, you have to try not to see them. So she reverses out and knocks into my bike and hits the front wheel, knocks my helmet off. It's a very expensive, race-inspired aerodynamic helmet, all dinged up and scratched now, and the bike had a little mark on it. But it's just shit. Stuff. Do we curse?
Shit, yeah.
Shit happens.
On the podcast, I'm very candid. And I'm very I curse.
Well, I'm glad we can curse because I curse like a sailor. Like,
me too. I don't know. It's in our blood. It just happens.
The cursing is, and also my dark, twisted sense of humor, especially with tequila. It's like, I'm glad we can speak freely here.
We planned this podcast like 20 different times.
Yeah.
But Quinn and I both this is from a local restaurant near us, and it would be like our tradition.
Let's drop this spot because everybody should know about this place in this
Zapatas. Area. Or Zapata. It's just
Zapatas.
Zapata.
Yeah,
Zapatas.
Zapatas. It's across the border in New York. Is it? It's not Nyack, is it? What town is that?
This.
Tapan.
Tapan.
I'm pretty sure it's Tapan. Regardless,
anyways,
Zapata's Mexican restaurant in Tapan, New York, let's say.
So
the
good.
best margaritas. And I've lived in Manhattan for a very long time. Lived in Hoboken for almost as long.
Margarita connoisseur.
Margarita, yeah, absolutely. Well, alcoholism runs in the family, apparently.
Yikes. Never dropped that one on the podcast.
Yikes. Anyway, great margaritas. Cheers.
So we have this tradition where we go to this restaurant, get these Cadillac margaritas, and get some food and just like vent about boys, girls, life, work, school at the time, whatever it was. And now they're doing these takeout margarita like quarts.
Yeah, good for
or
them.
Or whatever it is. It's so great.
They have these medical grade plastic containers.
They look
It looks
like
really
pee
weird.
Containers.
You might not be able to see it. I don't know if the color's going to come out super well over the video, but it looks like, pee.
It does.
So,
and
tastes great though.
But thank you for picking them up because this is a great addition. I know Dad and I had a cocktail on it. Kevin and I were drinking on the podcast. You get a little bit more relaxed and tell your stories.
Well, it's always good because some people are uncomfortable in front of the camera. I've actually been on camera a lot before.
Yeah, but you're just chill. Like
I'm pretty laid back.
It doesn't faze you to be like, oh, you're recording me?
No, I don't really care because other people's opinion of me are pretty low on my priority list.
I'm starting to get that. Someone asked yesterday, like, how does it feel being 25? And I was like,
oh,
you know
25. What? I'm hitting a very interesting number very soon.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Quinn's birthday's coming up, so everyone wish him a happy early birthday.
Yeah,
but
3-0.
Yeah, but it was just funny because my answer was like, it doesn't feel any different. Like, then
no,
I feel
really
like you don't
doesn't.
feel older because it's still this great time in your life. But I do have to say, every year that comes, you just kind of are more like confident and more like you know what values you hold and you're just like comfortable with yourself. Whereas I know during even maybe college, more high school, I was very worried about maybe what other people thought or other people's approval, whether that be like
which makes
close to you or people that like you kind of just know passing by. But I think as you get older, you just get more like
that
comfortable.
Need for validation goes away,
Yes.
and I think a big part of that is it makes sense, like just developmentally speaking, because your formative years at a certain age in your mid-20s for girls, maybe a little bit later for guys, at least in terms of brain development.
No.
What?
I was gonna say way later. No.
Wow. You want to go that route?
No, I don't. Oh wait.
But long story short, your formative years are basically over. You have a good idea of who you are, and hopefully by your mid-20s to late 20s, you have a good foothold in terms of personal development, career. So you care a little bit less about what Susie down the hall or Mark up the street really thinks about you. It's completely irrelevant. So
come on, Mark's dad. No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding. Totally kidding. Okay, I know there were some questions, and just as a little bit of background, what do you do for a living? And I hate that question because I don't think it defines you, but I think it's a part of your life, and I think it definitely gives you and shapes you a little. So
no, values, passions, hobbies, like that to me is way more important.
That is way more important. But people have asked, like, what do you do for a living? So I just want to get that out of the way.
Surface level. I get that question all the time, especially living in Manhattan. It's a very status-driven town, let's call it. The biggest city in the world. I get that question all the time. I work in media. I'm a manager for a large company. We work for a huge client. I don't really want to drop any names.
But we use a lot of them, so
I'm sure almost everybody out here has used their product at some point. And I work in media. Long story short, if I were to really oversimplify it, a client has goals and a budget, and I help them figure out how to best spend that to meet their goals. Super simple. It's about all I really care to get into. Work is work. Yeah. I enjoy it. There are a lot of parts about it, especially in media when you're young. It's fun. There's a lot of things going on. You're very much at the center of a bunch of different, influences, forces, and markets. But it's a great learning experience. Probably not what I want to do forever. So that's what I do.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm trying to find the questions that everybody sent because we really have been trying to set this up for such a long time.
So we've been talking about this for months. We've actually been actively trying to set this up for 2.5 weeks. Basically, since I've been home.
Like 3. Today's Friday, yeah.
I was, under exile, quarantine, after my trip to Utah back in mid-March.
Oh, that's true. So what were you doing there? Because I know this is another one of your hobbies.
Oh,
and
that's
a big source
of
of your broken bones.
I broke in 3 bones. More than 3 bones. 3 breaks. 2 collarbones and a wrist snowboarding. I love it. I mean, I'd say I'm good. The broken bones might have you believe otherwise, but it's just a fun hobby. It's great. I love the mountains, the fresh air, how you can just kind of escape, especially being in Manhattan.
I feel like you're floating.
Well, that too, especially if you go out west. The powder and the scenery is phenomenal. And it just seems like for whatever reason, the states, the towns, the locales that have the mountains and the really good snowboarding have some of the nicest people. Like I've taken a couple trips solo, just out west, or even to Vermont, like a day trip. You hop in the car, you go to wherever, southern Vermont, New Hampshire. People just seem happier when they're on the mountain, maybe having a beer, a little joint, whatever, pick your poison, and people are just happier on the mountain. It's just great. And I've always liked the cold too. If you give me, if you a 30-degree day versus a 90-degree and humid day, I'll take the cold any day, twice on Sundays. I can't stand heat, humidity. I'm just not built for it.
That's one of the questions I ask later in the podcast. We do like a rapid hour.
Rapid hour?
Tequila, baby. Tequila. Rapid fire.
Yeah.
And, sorry, the ADD's kicking in because I watched my nieces the whole day today. So I'm like sizzled in the brain. And then tough. You add tequila with only eating what I eat, like egg salad on bread today, Rhea, maybe. It was just delicious.
Is it your niece or would it be your cousin?
Cousins.
Yeah,
Did I just say niece?
She's fried.
No, it's because people always say, is that your niece? And I'm like, no. That would mean Quinn has kids.
No, I don't. I definitely don't.
It was so funny.
Not that I know of.
We were just talking about, I was like, any baby fever I did have, whenever I babysit a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old for like 8 hours, 7 hours, I'm just like, yeah, I'll babysit them. I'll hang out with them. They're adorable. Baby fever's gone. I want a plane ticket.
Let's not get political, but people underestimate how much energy and time it takes to raise kids properly. And it does take a village. And then society definitely undervalues those who choose to do that. But that's where I'll leave it.
No, and honestly, after today, I salute anybody that is 24/7 childcare because that is, whoa. Like, you literally can't pee without being like, are they killing themselves or they fall, like...
Especially at a certain age range because from, like, birth until, who knows what the actual delineation is, but in my mind, like 2, 3... Every noise they make, you have to be attentive to because they can't really communicate what's going on.
Well, that's
after that, you can kind of they can speak a little bit, and you could, they're testing boundaries, but you can kind of figure out when you can just let them cry and when you have to actually pay attention.
Speaking of crying, Kelsey was on her little tricycle, and I brought it up on the deck. Now that I look back, I'm like, wow, it was down there for a reason. You don't bring it up the 2 steps. So she's riding, and I already told Quinn this, but
I heard this.
She was, because I was so frazzled. She was riding, and she just rode down the 2 stairs and flipped over. And I was like, I heard it, and I was just like, oh my God, she's gonna freak out. She goes, I'm fine. She was like, and she looked at me to see if I was freaking out, and she was like, I'm okay. I was like, okay. And then inside I was like, oh my God.
I think for guys and girls,
I'm sweating thinking about it.
Yeah, for guys and girls, there are definitely innate differences in behavior. Sorry, feminists, you're not going to love this, but we do different things. We like different things. But young kids, doesn't matter the gender, are so resilient. And we've bubble wrapped them where they can't be near anything dangerous. Granted, take some precautions around sharp corners and whatever.
Absolutely.
But kids are so resilient. For instance, Kelsey falling a couple steps, pops right back up. She's fine. Me approaching the big 3-0. If I fell down 2 stairs, I'd be out for 2 weeks. So,
Okay.
What do you got for me?
I don't know if I found it. Now we're gonna get into some of the questions.
I'm trying not to get tangled in the jungle of wires down here by my feet. Let me just slide over a little
One day, I will save up enough to get proper podcasting equipment where we have the headphones that work.
I've seen your other podcasts. They're great. I hope the sound comes, across okay.
Yeah, the sound will be good. We just don't have headphones, so it feels less official to me.
I'm cool with unofficial. I kind of like casual.
When we get one more margarita deep, maybe we just put the headphones on to make it feel...
Look like...
Just kidding. Okay, let's get into the questions. Thank you guys for submitting your questions. If you guys ever want to, I mainly pull questions from Instagram, so make sure to go follow the podcast Instagram.
A lot.
Oh, there are a lot. We won't answer them all.
Well, let's take it.
We'll do it as long as the margaritas last, I guess.
I got a nice little halo effect going on from this light back there.
Yeah, well, I might actually... This camera's much clearer, so...
Yeah.
My camera's also broken. One day I'll buy a solid camera, that I haven't dropped 40 times.
When's your birthday again? I'm kidding.
August 22nd.
I know exactly when it is.
Yeah. Buy me a camera. Okay, next. First question. If you could instantly become an expert in something, what would it be?
Wow, great question. Engineering. I feel like I kind of missed the boat I was never a great student. God,
actually, we should have talked about that.
Yeah, let's get away from politics. So I was always a really good test taker. I had a really good SAT score. I would get, depending on the class, really good grades on the tests and quizzes. But you have a lot. Oh, here we go again. You have a lot of women. Oh, I'm not gonna name names.
Should I bleep that out? I would totally name it. She's terrible.
She was terrible. So whether you bleep it or not, keep it in there. It doesn't matter to me. There were, especially growing up, we're talking like middle school, a little bit less than high school, but definitely elementary school and middle school in particular. Some really bad teachers who
not
were
like the
tenured.
Cute movie where they're like hot, like bad teachers. Like
Cameron Diaz could be a shitty teacher for me anytime.
Absolutely, but in this case,
and 1994, Courtney Cox, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Call me.
No, bad teachers is in these teachers, and I had the same ones. Just they definitely favored kids
openly. No, but not even just kids. The one teacher that we named before, girls would literally say in class, like, and that in and of itself not a big deal. Like if you want to like call boys shitty things, because middle school boys are little sociopaths.
Yeah,
totally cool, and we're very energetic, and we're kind of like poking boundaries. We're not easy to teach. I get it.
There's so many stories we can go into. Sorry, keep going.
I have a lot of stories.
I was going to bring it back to like Montessori school, but let's keep ADD. Keep going.
I think I got sidetracked now. To bring it back to the boys versus girls thing, here's the point I was trying to make. On the rubric, the criteria was, this is codified, you can go back and look at this, behavior was a percentage of your grade. I don't remember what, 5, 10, 15%, but if you are subjectively grading students on their behavior and you openly favor girls versus boys, you're out. If I was a principal and anybody ever came to me with that complaint, there would be some kind of, ramification, disciplinary action, because that's unacceptable.
Such a good point. I never thought about that, because realistically, like, yes, you'd want behavior like don't curse at other students, don't hit other students. That should be in there.
There's a kid like biting other kids, maybe take them aside, figure out there's some behavioral issues, there's problems at home, figure out what's going on.
But the fact of that being a grade is kind of crazy. Looking back at it, knowing that I'm of like
you're
fully
there to
developed
teach.
Age.
An education in the system is from the industrial era.
Come on, we're getting out of the politics.
Well, no, it's 200 years old. Like, something has to change. And I think I've spoken about this with you and some of my friends. I think one of the good things coming out of this coronavirus insanity, it's crazy right now what's been going on, how long it's been going on without any updates. But I think one of the really good things that's coming out of it is homeschooling will probably be on the rise. We're going to figure out some way to educate kids remotely through the internet. We live in the age of information where we don't need children or even young adults, college, to sit there and have a bell ring and Pavlov's dog starts salivating at a certain time. Get up, sit down. You can eat now. You can leave now. I think we've kind of moved past that. I would hope so. As a society, we've definitely moved past that. Look at all the most successful people. A lot of them have dropped out because they had a vision and they had the ability.
And
it doesn't fit
into that strict. You do this cookie cutter this way.
It was literally made for people to have a baseline intelligence, knowledge, and to get on into a factory and do like a specific job and just keep on doing it. And that kind of it's a learning system that's antiquated.
Yeah, and it also makes me sad because a lot of we're gonna get way into it, but I agree.
What was the question again?
On top of engineer, you want to be great at engineering.
I missed the boat.
But what
because
I wanted to say
the teachers sucked, and I really love math and science, and it was too late in high school when I figured this out and had some really good male teachers that I would have had to retroactively take a bunch of classes and up my level of math and all this, and so I could have done it. No excuses, but it would have taken a lot of self-starting kind of go get 'em spirit at age 16.
Which now I think they're implementing a little bit more of like technology and everything.
This goes back to like all the programs out there for women to get into STEM. Like, where are all the guys? Where's the help for the guys? We're falling behind in education now. Let's move past it. Let's get past politics.
All I want to say is the one teacher, because this is a funny story about you and I growing up. So we're all 4 years apart. Like, Quinn's older, I'm the middle, Shane's the youngest, and he went into school. So 4 years apart, our school system and like where we live, you're in a different building, like a school building, completely different teachers, different principal, everything. Yeah,
so it's elementary, middle, high school.
High school. And
high school's, what would high school be called in other countries? There's another word for it.
There is another word, but I don't know. I'm the tequila man.
Yeah.
So I get into 8th grade and I'm all excited because I'm like, oh, new school. Like, I loved school, going back to how it fits the trope.
Wait, 8th grade or high school?
Going into 8th grade.
Going into 8th grade.
Oh, no, sorry. 8th grade was wasn't that Shora? Going into whatever, middle school.
Okay.
Anyways, but maybe it was going into middle school, but it was more so in 8th grade, I remember.
Well, middle
because
school
the
was
teachers,
5th, 6th, 7th,
yes, but
8th.
you were still probably common 5th. In 8th is when they were like, that's your brother? 7th and 8th, they were like, that's your brother?
Anyway.
Yeah, so he was 4 years older than me, so every time we jumped schools, we both, like...
We switched together,
we
so we were never in the same school.
It was like our hand movements were Italian.
That's true.
So, I moved up, and teachers would literally be like, Fable, like Layne Fable. Oh my God, are you related to Quinn? I never would believe it, or something. And I was just like, what does that mean? But then again, of course, I was like, oh yeah, I'm the good one. But looking back on it now, it's just, I mean, good one is in like, I knew I could play it to my advantage of being like, okay. I was like, yeah, I like school. I get straight A's.
How unprofessional. Who did that?
No, Mom's calling Dad, and I'm using his laptop because my laptop died at Woody's. It's a long story, guys. My production quality one day will be better. Pinky promise.
You got me, so.
Yeah, and we finally got Quinn on. So... that being said, let's just move on. For shit.
It's a long time for that question. Engineering.
This could be a long...
Engineering. If I could become an expert in anything.
Okay.
Which kind of engineering, you ask? No.
Let me find one that's
Lay it on me. In the meantime, Zapatas.
All right. So this is from a very loyal subscriber. I love you so much, Burn. Someone said, everyone has a great lesson they learn in life. What is that lesson for you? The best questions, the best comments. Cheers to Burn.
It's a really good question. What's a good lesson that I've learned throughout life? It'd be a lot easier if we could just talk without other people listening.
Well, quarantine. I'm sorry. I'm like holding my rest of my family hostage. They're all trying to be silent in the kitchen. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? I would say
I'll gladly have you on another podcast episode, though. So
we'll do it again. Absolutely, this is great. And if you throw Margarita,
one day I'll have a studio, and it won't be in an open concept house. It'll be just us.
One thing I've learned, I wouldn't even say recently, but definitely it's sunk in recently, is you never stop learning.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what age you are, what part of your life you're in. There's this theory that I can't say I'm the first one to come up with, but I've definitely noticed that life goes by faster as you get older. But if you think about it logically, when you're young, let's say you're 10 years old, 1 year is the 10th of your life. That's 10%. When you're 30 years old,
this is a
1 year is
well-known...
the 30th of your life. Yeah, I'm sure it's a well-known. I don't know if there's a name for the theory, but
so true.
I will say I came up with this on my own without hearing about it, so I'm proud of that fact.
Shit, really?
Get out of here. Yeah.
I don't believe it. You're too well versed in reading.
As far as I know, but so regardless, life does seem to have this. People always say it goes by so fast, and when you're going through it, especially when you're in middle school or high school,
your summers felt like a full year of school.
Forever,
but summer was only 3 months.
What your shitty friends said about you behind your back is like the end of the world, and as life goes on, it really doesn't matter. So if anybody's listening to this and they're in their early teens or college, high school years, and something shitty happens, just realize that's not even real life.
It's the tiniest part of your life.
It's such a small fraction, and you never stop learning. So move past it and just focus on what makes you happy.
That's such a good one. I love that.
Good question. Really, that's a Burn.
Well, don't
rock on, Burn.
Thank you, Burn. Okay, Burn has a few questions for you, so I'm gonna we can rapid fire through them. For both of you, how do you define success? I'll go really quickly. Yeah. I got a real short answer. Just happiness. If you're happy, you wake up happy. You're cool with yourself. I think you're successful.
I think the answer for guys and girls might be a little bit different.
Quinn's no, motorcycles.
No, motorcycles is the answer to everything, really, if you ask me. But no, I think honestly the answer might be a little bit different for men and women. Happiness is the end goal, but there are means to that end, and the financial component is part of it.
Of course.
That's probably where the guy's point of view comes in, because...
No, I was just trying to make it short and sweet. Of course, that has something into it.
No, that's my point. But there's a very specific cutoff. This is an old study, but it was somewhere around and obviously you have to nationalize it because depending on what part of the country you live in, the cost of living is astronomically different. But there's a certain point at which...
That's our microwave.
There's a certain point at which you make enough money to keep the bills at bay and to save and to invest. The last I heard, that was somewhere around 75, 80K.
Oh, I heard it was 100.
That's what I mean. It's nationalized.
Yeah.
If you live in Manhattan and you're only making $75,000, that's not a lot just because of the cost of living. But there's a certain point where you make enough money where, your next meal, your housing, your whatever expense is not an issue. At that point, you hit the financial portion, but you have to find some passion, whether it be a hobby that makes you money or just a hobby you enjoy. There's more to it than that. I think there are more fulfilling things that mean success than just money. And for me, this might sound really funny because I'm like the perpetual quintessential bachelor, but a healthy relationship, high up there.
That's so true. Sorry, Kev. I should have said that first. Shit.
It's easy in hindsight, but
I just wanted to make it a quick answer, but keep going.
Long term, you talk about all these people, you could have all the money in the world. What's the guy or girl on their deathbed going to say? I wish I had more time.
Yes.
So,
and that's where my happiness answer rings true.
Putting life in your days, am I gonna butcher this? Is tequila going to ruin this? Putting life in your days is more important than days in your life. And that's where motorcycles come in.
Okay, next. What's the best childhood memory you have with each other?
There are so many, and there's a lot of good ones, some not so good ones.
Yeah.
There's so many. What's the best childhood memory?
Or like one that stands out to you. It doesn't have to be the best. We don't need to put that superlative on it.
Oh man. Okay. Do you have one? Because I'm struggling. I can think of a lot, but I want to think of one that really pops out.
I want to say, this is a very mundane one, but it's something that sticks out to me always.
There's beauty in the mundane.
Yes, absolutely. And it's when Quinn first had his license, and we would drive around and listen to music and sing on the top of our lungs some Chris Brown. Yeah. Right?
There was that, and there was one year where I think I was in college, and so or maybe I was in high school at the time, and I had my license, and Layne and all of her friends.
Oh, this isn't gonna do it again. Don't do it again. Don't do it again.
Crisis averted?
I hope for now.
Let's go. What was I saying? Oh, I got my license, and obviously I was 18 or older at this point, and what's up, Dad?
Best childhood memory should have included something with Dad.
Obviously.
Of course. Well,
it's
mine
me
was
and
driving
Layne, but
shit.
yeah. But I'm getting sidetracked now. Oh, I'm driving around. I have my license, whatever year it was, and I pick up Layne, a bunch of her friends, and we're listening to. It must have been college because we were listening to. What was the song?
Was it Jason Derulo? Or
yeah, I think it was Jason Derulo.
I think it was Jason Derulo. Back when he was cool. He's weird now.
I don't remember what the song was, but I was hooked on it. Hooked on phonics.
Jason Derulo. Yeah.
I'm not gonna even.
You hooked on phonics. You just said hooked on phonics.
I did.
The tequila, man. My face is getting blue.
I feel it too. But anyway, we were driving around, windows down, summertime. Bunch of Layne's cute friends way back when.
TBT.
Martha's Vineyard. So me and Shane, I think one of my favorite memories was when we were in.
Give me the curb.
No, me and Layne, we have a ton of memories because we're closer in age, so there's a little bit more.
I think it's also while you were old, we were both older first.
Yeah.
So we would connect on a lot of those things, being what is this growing up shit about?
Ice luge. This has to be one of my favorite memories with Layne of all times. I just gotta have a really shitty relationship.
So much about us because we're drinking again.
Like I said, alcoholism runs in the family, guys. Right. Be careful. So I was just have a shitty relationship. No names. This girl sucked. I learned about it too late. Because I'm very much romantic, and that's very naive of me. I've grown since then.
Tequila's gonna make me angry. No, I'm kidding.
But we have an ice luge because there was a party either. It must have been the night before because otherwise
I made it because I was bringing it to my friend's lake house.
What it was? Okay. So there's an ice luge. I come back.
Oh wait, we lost visuals. Sorry, Mom, Dad. This will be over soon. Oh shit.
What kind of
janky
setup is this?
Don't die. Don't. No, keep going. Ice luge. Shut up.
So I had something going on.
I promised you I'd get better when I'm
Layne had something going on, and I come home late. I was out with some of my buddies, just talking, nothing crazy. Maybe I had a beer or two, and I see this ice luge, and we start talking, and we just kind of look at each other like, should we? And we break out the ice luge in the middle of the granite countertop, our island, in the middle of the kitchen at 3 a.m.
We start ripping shots.
And we're as we're complaining about life and shitty people. Pouring
shots for each other,
whatever it was. We were pouring some hard alcohol down this ice luge. That has to be one of my best memories.
We died laughing.
Oh my!
And we stayed up till 5 a.m. and we were like, "This is gonna be terrible tomorrow."
That was brutal. That was really good. I forgot about that. That's up there. That's
amazing.
Way up there. All right, come on, give me the good ones.
Okay, yeah. We gotta go a little quicker because they're gonna lose their patience.
Yeah.
And whatever. This is fun though. I think low key, I think Quinn is one of the best podcasts because you like just can talk and talk and talk, and
It's
I can
hard to
talk and
shut
talk
me
and
up.
talk, and it's just that's one thing we have in common.
And
It's
tequila.
like tequila. Okay, for both of you, what I was gonna skip this one, but I just read half of it. For both of you, what is the quality that you love and hate with each other?
Quality that we love and hate with each other.
Love. Quinn is so loyal, and he will always have my back no matter what.
This is true.
2, hate. I think you get angry very easily. It's just a thing. We've all got tempers.
I have a
I'm not
temper.
going to say I can't.
Totally.
I just know that sometimes when we talk, he gets angry, and I'm so sensitive. I'm like, okay. But, yeah.
Love. Layne is extremely caring. Like, if you come to her and you need, advice or for her to hear you out, she's definitely there for you. Hate.
Yeah, that's a
That's a
strong
hard
word.
one.
I don't want to say hate.
Yeah, hate's a strong word, but let's
Yeah.
go with that. Sometimes too sensitive and emotional.
Yes.
And, not that that's necessarily a woman thing. It kind of is. But,
It kind of is. But
yeah,
no, that's also
like
my
things-
strong suit. So, like, I
Yeah.
take that in, yes, there are times I can be too sensitive, but, it goes hand in hand with what you
totally.
love. So,
Yeah, the emotionality of it, it's tough for guys to deal with sometimes.
yeah, sometimes I come to Quinn like, Quinn,
0 to 60 real quick.
I can't talk to Quinn because I'm trying to choke back tears.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't understand
spit
you.
it out.
And I'm like, okay, moving on.
That's good.
Can he compare you, how he treats you to how he treats Shane?
What was the question?
Like, can you compare how you treat me to how you treat Shane? Well, that's kind of, we can move on from that one. That's not a bad one, but I feel like
I don't
it's
know
just
how
like,
to answer that, yeah.
yeah, like we
Different.
don't, different,
They're
but
different
whatever.
people.
Quinn is so mysterious. I feel like even his closest friends don't know him well.
That's not true. I have 2 close friends who know almost everything about me, and I have one best friend who knows 99.8% of everything about me. So I'm mysterious by choice. I don't like to. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and if we're friendly,
There was
I
a
have no
second part
problem
of that question. Sorry, but keep going.
Opening up?
I don't know. How does ... But keep going. I know you are mysterious by choice.
Yeah, this goes back to the kind of tongue-in-cheek thing I said before. I've learned over the course of my life, don't throw it all out there. Like, you're your own person. Your time, your personality.
That's funny though, because I throw it all out there.
That is a little ironic.
I know, right?
I didn't think about that. Oh, well played.
I love
Scarcity.
the people that watch though.
People think you're way more interesting than you actually are if you had that air of
That's true.
mysteriousness. So
I think
I play right into that.
People kind of just are like, oh, like I know Layne and whatever, and you guys do for the most part, especially since I've been going live because it's unedited.
Yeah.
But
I'm not nearly that interesting or mysterious, guys.
I don't think that's true, but he's like, yeah, wink. He's single, so I guess what is his ideal girl? Question mark. Physical attributes and personality wise.
Okay. This is only a matter of time. So physical attributes, is very interesting. Guys and girls have a very different view of what's attractive to them. And physically, with online dating, you can actually see this statistically. Guys are much more, I wouldn't even say forgiving. They're much more honest in their appraisal of women. It follows a very natural bell curve. So we view average girls as average. We view beautiful girls as beautiful. And, less than average is less than average. It's just kind of how it goes. Women are looking for that top 20% across the board. It's actually really funny. But for me personally, I love athletic builds. I'm very athletic. I'm very energetic. I'm always, working out.
He wants you to carry your own shit, guys. No.
Definitely. Like, if a girl were to ask me to be a mule, I'd say, no, your fucking legs work. Like, figure it out.
No, I'm sorry. I was thinking of suitcases.
That
Goes on
too.
to the next question.
That too. Like, carry
Keep
carry
going.
your own fucking weight.
Physical attributes
basically.
and
But no, like
personality.
strictly physically speaking, hair color, eye color. Who does anybody really care? Like, maybe some people have a specific type. Does anybody
I'm
really care about
shocked
that though?
people are like, I only like this.
Sure. Hey, listen.
Anyways,
everybody
to each
has
his own.
preferences. That's fine. But I find beauty in beauty. I mean, there's a whole wide spectrum of what's attractive. But for me personally, athletic body. I'm energetic. I love doing things outdoors. Hiking, motorcycling is very athletic. I work out. I take care of myself. I want whoever I'm with to do the same. I don't think that's unreasonable because
No,
I'm
'cause
leading
that's your
by
lifestyle.
example. Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
And
Okay.
like I said, hair color, all that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Personality. Does anybody care about personality? No, I'm kidding. Next question. I feel like I'm being rushed here.
Sorry, they're cooking dinner and I'm like, I'm hungry and I'm drunk, but like,
I'll just have to keep the personality part mysterious.
No, give a nice like overarching.
honest with themselves and with me, because a lot of girls pretend. They pretend to be or to not like or to like certain things, and it's a facade, and we all break through it eventually, and then...
Not even that honesty. If you can't be honest with someone that you are interested in or you say you care about, that's disgusting.
Oh, yeah, totally. That's a big one for me.
I think that was the best answer you could have possibly given.
Yeah, let's not go too much deeper into that.
If you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would it be? Thank you, Alyssa, for your question. I want to come visit you in London.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Papa Dio.
I miss Pops. And I miss Poplowski.
Our old neighbor.
I know way too many Alyssas with similar names.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Papa Dio and Poplowski. They're basically...
You guys, Shane's behind the camera. Okay, but yeah, where would you live? Yeah.
Anywhere for a year. Switzerland is high up there for me. It has everything I love. Great roads for motorcycling. They have fantastic mountains for snowboarding. The scenery is bar none, maybe second only to Italy in some regards. And I love Italy because that's where our family's from. And I would say I speak Italian, but that's kind of a lie nowadays. I used to at one point
be really good.
I used to be conversational. Now I'm out of practice. I'm sure I can pick it back up. But yeah, just to move along here, Switzerland.
Awesome. Yeah. Alyssa says yay because you're coming on. What do you hope to achieve by the time you're 50?
It's a great question. There's so many ways I can answer this. Like, do you want a dollar amount? Do I want my bank account?
No,
like a home,
absolutely
a family?
not.
Like, there's so many ways I can answer this.
Like personal, because money comes and goes. I don't think that's a valid answer because...
Sure. I mean, but part of my goals are financial.
Of course.
I think if anybody's being honest, that should be part of their, portfolio of
I think that's everyone's want, though, Yeah. That's everyone's desire. What's your...
To a degree.
Lifestyle desire?
Really good question. I guess to find somebody I could just be myself with would be a big one. I think relationship satisfaction. Oh, of course. And openly, I think and to have that, support is a big part of it. And other than that, just to get a lot faster at racing motorcycles.
Okay, now that this camera has run out of...
Juice?
No, memory. That camera's still going. We have a few more questions, then dinner smells amazing, and I know over there they're being silent for us.
Let's do what we can. We'll come back. We'll do this again for sure.
I feel like we have so much to talk about.
There's a lot.
We can easily do more.
We barely even scratched the surface.
I think I could even cut this in two, honestly. So, yes, finally, oh no. Sorry.
She just hung up on our grandmother.
She's my favorite person.
Sorry,
Don't say that.
She's my favorite person too, to be perfectly honest.
Don't say that.
Like, nicest person ever.
I don't want to let people know.
That's how important you guys are. She just hung up on our no enough.
Oh, don't out me like that. I'm caring, compassionate. You said shit.
Next question. Come on, right out of time.
Okay, what have you been waiting? Wait, what? That wasn't even a question. That I just. What triggered his passion for motorcycles, Harley, anytime soon?
Ooh, I love the story of Harley. I love the American made, if I'm being perfectly honest, and I've done a lot of research. I've actually ridden my buddy's Harley. The quality isn't there. I hope that changes. I really do. But the big four Japanese manufacturers seem to just have it down. Their specifications and their clearances are just better. So what triggered my passion? Top Gun. We kind of talked about that before. I'm a huge adrenaline junkie. Layne in the intro kind of mentioned it. Cliff diving. I've flown a plane before. Cliff jumping.
You jumped out of a plane with me?
I've jumped out of a fully functional, well-working plane. I love adrenaline. It's a drug like any other. Some people get hooked on that thrill-seeking, and that's me. So motorcycles kind of just, they scratch that itch, and it's a very cerebral sport. It's not just like a flying around, making knee-jerk reactions. It's a very, on track anyway, and on the road too if you don't want to die. It's a very cerebral, planned out sport. There's an equal and opposite reaction to every action. So, yeah, it's great.
What's the most embarrassing childhood memory you have?
Oh, before I even came on this podcast, I thought about
it.
Like,
people always ask me the most embarrassing, but I block them out.
That was kind of my answer.
I block them out.
There will be times where I can't sleep. It's like 2 a.m. I'm overly caffeinated or stressed or whatever, and something I did in middle school or high school will come up, and I'll just think to myself like you get that cringe moment, oh, that actually happened. Those would be my answers. I just can't think of them right now.
You know what's so messed up? Sometimes when I lie awake thinking about that, I think about it. I'm like, I'm gonna remember this for the next time.
And then you don't. And you
don't because your brain is like,
memory.
Don't let yourself think about that.
Well, there's one time. This isn't the most embarrassing. I've done way worse, I'm sure. But there was one time I was in high school. I was playing lacrosse at the time, so it could have been any of the 4 years because I played from freshman till senior year. But we had a field that was gated off by a chain link fence, and something happened. I had to run to the trainer to like get my ankle taped or whatever the deal was. So I'm running back as the practice is starting. I was supposed to handle this after class. I didn't want to have to run sprints because our coach was a hard ass. So if you're late to practice, you have to run extra. So I go to instead of running around to where the opening to the gate was, I go to hop the fence, and all these gorgeous, athletic, beautiful track girls are behind me. I'm like running up, and I go to hop the fence. 9.5 times out of 10, I would have just vaulted over it and looked like majestic. 'Cause I had long, long hair back in the day.
Oh my God.
And I go to hop the fence, and like my shoelace gets caught or something, and I face plant.
I didn't know that.
I hear one of the girls behind me they're like, what the fuck was that? And I'm just like, run it off like it didn't happen. Just keep going. That was embarrassing.
Oh, that's funny.
That did happen. There are way more embarrassing ones that I'm sure I'll think about tonight as I lay awake. But
Hey, that happened. That truly happened.
that happened. Yeah, that was a good
All right,
one.
and then advice for people. We have 2 more. Sorry,
I don't know
promise.
who wants me giving advice. Horrible.
That's not true. You got some good advice. After tequila, this is when we get our advice out.
Yeah.
Advice for people experiencing a quarter-life crisis.
Well, what is quarter life these days? Are you 20? You plan to live until 80?
That's a really good question,
Yeah, 'cause,
Grace.
you know,
How old are you?
Quarter life crisis. Get a motorcycle. Everybody does that, right? That's a good thing. No, you look very young and very pretty from your profile picture, which everybody...
She says, I love Camaro, Zeppelin, and French fries in that order.
Oh, I didn't read that.
That
Grace.
sounds great.
Hey, give me a call.
I'm going to follow her
advice
just
for
because.
quarter
That's a
life
great
crisis?
bio.
Don't get wrapped up in your age. Don't get wrapped up
Age
in
doesn't matter. Age is a number.
this particular time frame, because it's similar advice to what I said about when you were, when you're younger and how much faster time goes as you get older. Focus on what makes you happy and what excites you, because that could change. But for here and now, there's no point in getting tied down in what's bothering you. Just kind of pick your head up, look at the horizon, and take the next step. Don't get depressed. There are reasons. It doesn't matter how bad your situation is. I know it's easy for us to say, I suppose, but there's always a reason to be grateful and something else to look forward to. So don't get too wrapped up in your age.
Yeah, mine would be just to, honestly, the best is yet to come. And it's hard to think that because so many people glorify, high school days, college days. College was the best. But, was it really? Because you didn't have this autonomy that you have once you get older. And it's kind of listen, go book a trip and travel. That's my advice. You'll learn a lot about yourself.
Travel's not a bad...
get perspective.
It's a Band-Aid, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think travel's totally a Band-Aid for a lot of people, even for people in relationships, but it's not a bad place to start.
Oh, I disagree. I think you just haven't traveled enough.
You think travel's a cure?
Not a cure. Not a cure.
Then it's a Band-Aid.
I don't think it's a Band-Aid. It is a stepping stone. Because once you learn other people's perspectives, you come back to your life and your situation with a completely different view.
Sure.
And I don't think that's a Band-Aid. I think that's more of its perspective.
Okay.
And I don't mean go sit on the beach for a week. I mean
staying on the beach for a week would probably
that's
fix
a
your problem
Band-Aid.
too.
No, I think that's a Band-Aid. Because then you come back to life and you're like, well, shit, now I'm sunburned and whatever.
There's always margaritas from Zapatas.
Yes. But I think traveling offers perspective, and I just recommend it. Anyways, next. One more question.
Last question. Make it a good one.
Well, I didn't want to end on this. And then we have a compliment for you. But anyways.
Oh, thank you.
The Tab.
I haven't heard it yet,
Thank you,
but
Tabitha Dior. I met her in Nepal. She's so sweet. Started a channel. I try to get everyone to start a YouTube channel. I wanted Quinn to start a YouTube. Let me just insert this question. Start a YouTube channel. Why won't you start a YouTube channel?
I mean, I could. I don't know what I would... Who's that interested? I don't know. Maybe. Hey.
Are you kidding?
Maybe.
Everyone here would watch you. But okay, last question. The biggest fight you guys have ever gotten in. Give me all the drama.
What's the biggest fight? There was one time she kicked me in the knee with a snow boot.
Oh, I was going to bring
Was
that
that the one you're going to mention?
This was the worst.
It displaced my kneecap.
We went on one of our Fable family vacations. It was incredible. Thanks, Mom and Dad. This was great. We were in Colorado, Breckenridge.
I don't remember where it was. Where were we at? It doesn't matter. We were
out west.
It was
definitely
out
west. And we got this top
Good in
of a
Breckenridge.
mountain
Great mountain.
where the runs are so long because you don't get that really in the east, but in the west the runs are long.
Yeah.
So we're going, and Quinn said something. I don't remember how it came about.
I don't remember what led to this, but I remember the incident.
We were strapping in, and he came up to me, and I'm still strapping in, and he said something, and I kicked him in the knee. No. Wait. I forget what it was, but I kicked you.
The details are blurry, but
yeah,
I remember what happened.
But I remember the situation. I kicked him in the kneecap with my snowboarding boot, and he was like, Layne, you have 10 seconds to get down the run before I come and catch you and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, I was pissed. I don't remember how old I was. We're 4 years
But, if
apart,
that's our biggest fight, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Also, tequila. Okay, and lastly, not much other than Quinn is adorable. Ha ha ha, you guys be safe.
So like I said before, thank you.
Thank you. All right. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much. Thank you to Quinn for coming on.
I'm sure I'll be back, guys.
You will be back because this was effortless. Also, tequila. How many times have we shouted out tequila in this podcast? Someone get a counter for me.
Please count it up. And also, Zapatos, Japan, New York. If you are in this area, go there.
Go check it out.
They're fantastic.
That being said, thank you guys so much. If you want to support the podcast, you can either support on anchor.fm/Layne Fable, or now you can also join the memberships on my channel for as little as $2.99 a month, and you keep the episodes coming. Maybe one day I'll upgrade the mics and everything.
Yeah, for God's sakes, guys, help her out. I'm gonna have to buy her some equipment for next time I come on.
I mean, it'll get more professional, and one day I'll have a studio, I promise.
This was fun.
But I love you guys.
Yeah, this is great.
Even with all the messy. I guess should we take this or should we save this?
Yeah, split it up. Well, you got line it up. Let's knock it out.
I was gonna say one each is on, but you're right. I haven't eaten. So.
Did I bring us? Oh, I did bring a second one. Well,
is that too much?
Since we're going.
Okay, I'm going to keep this as a chaser, knowing me. Anyways, No, I haven't. I love you guys. I'm so happy you want so happy you want to put on the podcast. Think. Yeah, these little nibs are cute, but damn.
All right.
When did you feed the dogs?
I did not feed the dogs.
We've been sitting here for 2 hours, sorry.
Salute.
Okay, you done? Are you guys done with it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it wasn't cold anymore.
No, it was cold when I started. Yeah.
I love you guys. I will see you on the next episode or the next video.
Burns all the way down.
Oh, we burned at the same time.
See ya. Oh, boy.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for being quiet during this episode. I know that was long. I love you guys. Hey guys, sorry for the sketchy audio. I just wanted to let you guys know that bloopers for this episode will be on the membership side of my channel. So you can go to youtube.com/Layne Fable and then click the join button if you want to see what I didn't think I should show everybody on Quinn's episode of the podcast. All right, love you guys. Bye.